Hello, how are you guys doing? It is Angela's Literary Tea. And guys, I get to hang out with Olivia Shaw Real. She is back at the cafe, guys, and we're getting ready to talk about her latest release, Hero for Sale. And Olivia, I don't know if you know, but I still have my book hangover. Okay. This book is so good. 5 stars, by the way. I love it. It like sucks you in. I
Mhm.
mean, first of all, you start off like with a headliner, like at the beginning, and it just captures your attention. You fall in love with the characters. There are some characters that you love to hate,
Yes.
as
Mhm.
well. There are, I mean, it's a story with all the feels. But of course, we're gonna get into all of that, guys. If you are just joining us, you already know what to do. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to come on down to the cafe and let's have some tea time with author Olivia Shaw Real and her new release, Hero for Sale. So, Olivia, first off, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself. And when you introduce yourself, you can tell us what you are wearing on today, what you are drinking, because we are having tea time as well.
Sure. So, hello, everyone. My name is author Olivia Shaw Real. I have been writing since I was 7 years old. I am now 32 with 30 books under my belt, 30 and counting, I should say.
Okay.
So, Hero for Sale is my latest book. It is also most personal to me. So, we have a copy here. And then I am drinking on some cappuccino. It's not quite
Okay.
tea, but yeah, it serves its purpose. And I just have on just a dressier blouse. It's Sunday, I didn't have a literary tea, so if anybody watching who has one, who makes them, let me know and I'll support.
Okay.
So yeah, it's nice to meet everyone, and I'm so happy to be here with you, Angela.
I love that. I love that. And Olivia, let me just tell you, okay, I got to shout out Custom Creations by Midnight Ace Book Bar. Oh
Okay.
my goodness. She
Mhm.
has some amazing, amazing literary t-shirts. Also, author Joy Avery, her company is called Lady Lioness Handmade. Oh my goodness. She has some amazing shirts as well. So I will definitely shout those two out, and I'll put their information in the comment section,
Okay.
and I'll make sure I get you their information as well.
Yeah.
And both of them is like quality customer service is like on 10. It's amazing. So I got you. I got you.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that. Well, guys, you already know I am Angela Anderson of Angela's Literary Tea. Today, I am rocking my Angela Anderson Presents t-shirt. That is my brand. And I am drinking out of my Angela Anderson Presents a mug. And of course, so you'll know, Olivia, my mug was made from Lady Lioness Handmade. So she does mugs and stuff like that as well. So shout out to her for that. And today, I cooled it down a little bit. Usually I do like hot lemon tea, but today I'm doing iced tea or sweet tea, and it got some ice in there as well. So I got to remember when I drink it to not eat the ice, because you know I love ice. But anyway,
Me too. Me
I
too.
love that. I love that. So guys, thank you so much for joining us on today. We're getting ready to get into a little bit of tea spilling with Olivia Shaw Real and her latest release, Hero for Sale. So Olivia, before we get into this story, for those who may not have read it or anything like that, and they may be new to this particular book, I want for you to share a little bit. Now, I know you just shared with us, this is a little bit of your story, your testimony, all of that good stuff too, or you have some inspiration of, of why you wrote this book. But can you share with them a little bit about what inspired Hero for Sale?
Yes, so the premise, if I could say, is about a celebrity, Marion Turner. He hasn't had the most positive public image. And so, to kind of clean up that image, his team puts together these events. So, he goes to a children's hospital, he volunteers to read. There, he falls in love with this woman and her terminally ill daughter. And so, from there, it just kind of goes from there. But what inspired me is I have never experience being terminally ill, obviously, or nobody in my family close to me until I met my husband. And
Okay.
so, in my eyes, he's my hero. He's had over 26 surgeries, very young age. His first surgery was 3 days old. And so I put my mind in the mindset of a terminally ill child. How would I
Okay.
feel as a mother? And then so I wanted to do something different. I'm usually writing, these romances or these, urban juicy books, but this was something totally different. And so yeah, I was inspired to write from that angle.
Wow, I love that. And let me just say before we kind of like share, first of all, I do want to tell you guys, y'all know how we do here. We are interactive. So if you have read the book and you have your tea and all that stuff and you're ready, if there is something for you that you want Olivia and I to discuss, if there is a character you want to discuss, if there's a question that you have from Olivia, definitely do put it in the comment section. We'll be sure to include you. And one thing I want to say about this story, Olivia, before we kind of dive in, is that this is a story, guys. Yes, she has a terminally ill daughter, but Olivia gives you all the feels. I mean, there are moments that pull at your heartstrings.
Yeah.
There are moments where you are laughing out loud. There are moments where you are, you talking to the book. I'm just gonna say that. You talking to the book. You talking to the
Right.
characters. You having a whole conversation. And yes, it is totally book hangover worthy. Olivia is definitely one of those books that after I finish reading it, I still think about the characters. Like they still, just all the different things. There are moments where you want to laugh,
Yes.
just all of that stuff. And I like the fact that it has a perfect balance because again, like you said, you're dealing with like a terminally ill child. So
Mm-hmm.
you already know that there is heartfelt moments for
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And the stress of it all, you're dealing with a mom who even though she's married, she might as well be single because
Yes.
that husband of hers, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit too. But the stress of it all for her, and she's a career woman. She's she works at a school. She is it assistant principal or principal?
Yes. Assistant principal.
Assistant principal.
Mm-hmm.
At a school, all of this good stuff, and then we have Marion that's on the flip side, guys. And I'm just kind of trying to sum it up for you guys, but we're going to talk about it. You have Marion on the flip side that he has his own set of issues and
Right.
identity and just all these things that he's dealing with. Add those two together. We're gonna talk about that meet cute as well. I'm gonna tell you some stuff about that meet cute. I said they have a meet cute 1 and a meet cute 2.0, but we're gonna talk about that as well. But you're dealing with both of these, and then they're kind of catching feelings for each other, all that stuff.
Yep.
And this adorable child that is like, oh my goodness, as well. So, guys, I just kind of like summed it all up. So, as you can see, you'll probably be like me by the time we finish, or by the time you read it, you will have a book hangover, or you're going to be at the edge of your seat and you're going to say, what can I do to go get my hands on a copy of this amazing book, Hero for Sale? Okay, so Olivia, now, how would you describe this particular book? Like if you had to put it in a genre, because what would you describe this book as, or how would you kind of capture the essence of this amazing story? Does that make sense?
It does. I would say inspirational romance.
Mm.
Absolutely. I didn't want to pull on people's heartstrings too much to where it be too heavy, but
Yeah.
it's very heartwarming. And like you said, I wanted people to leave, wanting more of the characters and wanting
Yeah.
to be really invested in these relationships. So I would say inspirational romance for sure.
Okay, and I would definitely agree. I would definitely agree for this particular story. And like I said, I definitely want to reiterate, you nailed it with the balance of it, because like you said, when you think about the storyline of it all,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it could be really heavy. But again, like I said, with the humor side of it, as well, you kind of had that balance, that it wasn't like overly heavy,
Right.
and then on top of that, there was definitely a message. There was definitely like redeeming characteristics for both of the characters. There was both things of where they found themselves, if
Yes.
that makes sense. They found
Absolutely.
themselves and they found each other,
Mm-hmm.
as well. And it dealt with, this is the story, guys, that deals with family. It deals with trust. It deals with forgiveness of others, forgiveness of self,
Right.
as well. So Olivia, as you can see, I mean, I could just, girl, I mean, just describing the book, we haven't even got in it. So
Yes.
first of all, I want to talk a little bit about, because you at the beginning, you're kind of like describing the characters, you're introducing us to like Kenya and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff, and then on the flip side, you're introducing us to Marion. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so Olivia, I want to let you know, first of all, you had me at the cover. I love guitars, especially the
Mm-hmm.
acoustic guitar. Oh my goodness, I love it. So then you have like this, and I know it's inspirational romance, but you have this sexy hero on the cover, and you have a guitar.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I was like, okay, so one click pre-order when you put when you put it on pre-order. But okay, so let's talk about Kenya
Mm-hmm.
first. We're gonna talk about her first, and then we're gonna kind of go into the meet cute
Okay.
one. Okay, so Kenya, how would you describe her? I know for me, like first off, when you were kind of introducing her to us,
Mm-hmm.
you could feel the realness and the rawness of her, of what she was going through. And of course, as women, you know how we have, sometimes we have that superwoman
Yes.
complex, and then sometimes it's because we got to do what we got to do. Does that make
Right.
sense? Like we
Right. Yep.
and we as women, no shade to the men, but a lot of times, just that womanly instinct, oh, we gonna do what we gotta do to get it done.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Or to
Absolutely.
make it happen, or to make it flow, or to make it work for what
Mm-hmm.
we need. And so, guys, we shared a little bit about she has this terminally ill child. She's working a full-time job as an assistant principal, as well. So, what would you say about Kenya's character? Because even at the beginning, starting first off, she had my heartstrings. Like I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm good for this sister. I'm rooting for her.
Yes. And I love that. And that's what I want. I wanted. She's very strong. And like you said, she may as well be a single mother. She was very independent. She wanted to do whatever it was to make her daughter happy and to make her daughter smile, even if that meant running herself ragged and going to the hospital, staying overnight, just doing what she could to make her daughter smile. And she had just an independence about her that I wanted to just kind of jump off the screen. She wanted to be vulnerable, but she didn't have a choice. She had to
Right.
put on that, she had to put on that game face in front of her daughter, as
Yeah.
most mothers do, when faced with adversity. So.
Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that you said that she had to put on that game face, and it was almost like she had to put on the game face twice. Like
Right.
while she was at the hospital, she had to have her game face on for
Right.
her daughter. Oh my goodness, for her
Right.
daughter, to let her know, hey, baby, we're gonna get through this.
Yes.
All of that stuff. But she also, and you can tell me your thoughts on it. I also felt like she had to have her game face on at work. I mean,
Mhm.
she was like, even the part about, if you remember the scene where the little boy, and I've worked at a school, so I totally
Yeah.
got it.
Mhm.
The little boy, he was like, can I eat lunch with you? And
Right.
for some of those, you have some of those kids that just that little special touch, those little things
Mhm.
could be the one small thing that
Yeah.
to help them have a great day, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I love that. And it was almost like she had that inner motherly love, of course, unconditional love
Mhm.
for her daughter, but she had this love and compassion for these kids at this school that she worked for, that even though on the weekends, on Fridays, when
Mhm.
she would go and spend the whole weekend at the hospital with her
Yeah.
child, it was like she would, rush home, all this good stuff to put her other game face on for
Right.
her children at work, for her coworkers. Because again, I mean, as an assistant principal, you are in an authoritative figure,
Mhm.
as
Right.
well. Talk a little bit about that, and her being able to kind of juggle that mindset. Mhm.
Yes. And I also work for a school, so I understand, sometimes we're the biggest, joy and light in a student's life. And
Mhm.
they can go home to some mess, but it's like if we're that sweet spot in their day, then we've done our job. But
Yeah.
absolutely, she had to keep her game face on for the students, and it was almost like a slap in the face, because it's like you're seeing, these students who, your daughter used to go to this school, but because of her illness, she's unable to do those normal activities. So it's like, okay, I see these children this way, but then I'm going to my baby, and she's, hooked up to tubes and all these different things. So definitely putting on her game face, definitely trying to balance it all. Like I said, she wants to be vulnerable. She wants to break down. She does break down,
Yeah.
but it's like
Yes.
you can only do it for so much. Now it's time to be mama. It's time to be superwoman.
Yeah, yeah. And I want to shout out someone, guys, that I see in the comment section.
Mhm.
Renata Wooten is in the comment section. Renata, hey, my friend. So good to see you. I hope you're having an amazing day on today. Guys, if you are just joining us, hopping in, let me just tell you, go ahead and like, tag, and share. Go grab your
Mhm.
tea, because we are having tea time with the one and only Olivia Shaw Real, guys, with her page turning new release, A Hero for Sale. Oh my goodness, this book is just like amazing. Okay, so we talked a little bit, we gave you guys a little bit about Kenya's character and what she's dealing with and all of that good stuff as well. And so I want to also talk a little bit about Marion.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So guys, Marion is a gospel soul singer. And let me just tell you guys now, don't sleep on him because the brother is talented. Okay.
Yeah.
The brother is talented. He just had a record to go platinum, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went platinum, and he's ranking up these awards and all that good stuff. But let's just say the brother got a little bad side, like maybe like step into the bad side. So he kind of got a little two things going on too. But he's battling with himself, and one of those incidents where he kind of like stepping over to the bad side, something like tragic happened. Okay. And it really like it shakes him. It's one of those things where how some people have like a rude awakening, or almost like they have to kind of hit almost like a rock bottom, or they have to hit something so severe to be like, okay. But this incident that happens, it toils with him, and of course he have people in his corner, but he's dealing with that as well, and trying to keep it a secret as well. Right. So how would you describe like Marion as well?
So going into it, this is going to sound really bad, but it's the truth. I thought about Kanye West, and he has, people love him, people hate him. In the public eye, he's kind of, not had the most positive image. He says things out the side of his mouth. And yet, like I said, some people still love him, some people hate him. And so I wanted a character where readers would either going into it, I want to know more about this Marion, or girl, what are you, why did you write this character? I don't like him. But by the end of the book, I want to have pulled your heartstrings and to have turned him around. So Marion is just this, I feel like he's a little boy in a grown man's body at this point. He's dealing with a lot of trauma, and he doesn't know how to express it. He's very secretive, like you said, about these different things that he's done, the different mistakes he's made, the bad choices that he's made. And so it really haunts him. And we kind of see this like taking on this just devilish character. But he's very sexy, though, to the eye. And I want him to be a ladies' man. But the focal point is this bad guy more than
Now, Olivia, let me ask you this, okay? Because you're the creator of this character, okay? In addition to that, though, oh my goodness, he had a heart of gold. Like, he does some stuff in this book where it's like, okay. It's like, I mean, it's like, man, it's like when it came to like for real stuff. Man, it was almost like if he ride for you, he ride for you. He gonna ride till the wheels fall off to like make sure. And you will see this like in this book, and we'll talk about it a little bit as well. But I got that for him. I was like, man, he literally has a heart of like gold as well. It's just that he was kind of battling with some stuff as well. So okay, let's talk about. We're gonna talk about little Kaylee as well. Oh my goodness, she was just so precious. I love Kaylee. So I want to talk a little bit about this this meet cute. It's almost like I got two ways that guys. It's so much goodness that I want to tell you guys. But first of all, let's talk about this meet cute 1, and then we'll go into meet cute 2.0. And one of the things, Olivia, that I wanted to read was I think it's part of meet cute 2.0. But the reason why I say it's like meet cute 1 and meet cute 2.0 because okay, guys, I'll just kind of like set it up for you a little bit. So Marion they're at an award show, and of course there's press there, and oh my goodness, we got to talk about Sophia, his publicist, okay, that has his back, and Maddox, his manager, whatever. But anyway, so remember we told you, he got a little bad boy image and all that good stuff, but he's a gospel soul artist. They at this award show, and of course the press is there. Y'all already know. I mean, you gonna have some people that they gonna give you good press, and then there's gonna be some people that's in the press that they gonna go there. Okay, so why this person gonna go there? And so he almost like the person. He like, okay, you come for me. I need you to be ready if you come for me. Okay, because he gonna give as good as is being gotten. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to everybody. So anyway, so So he goes through all of this or what have you, and his publicist is already like, look, we gotta turn your image around. And I want you to know that, Olivia, that scene of when she came to see him the next day.
Uh-huh. Did you enjoy that, Angela?
Oh my goodness, it was well written. It was funny, but you can, for a publicist and a person who's about their business and they're about protecting your image or whatever, she was like, I don't got time for your foolishness. She was like, get up. I need you to get the shower. This is what we got to do for the day. I got to clean up this mess you done did on yesterday. And then the scene, because y'all, she's his publicist, so she just like bust up in his hotel room. First of all, it's like, why are you spending all this money for this hotel room and you got a house that's like not far from here that's like this $1 million home or whatever. But anyway, so she just bust like, he was like, well, I'm glad, he was like, I'm glad I got my underwear on. She was like, boy, please. Anyway, she was like, okay, cut the crap. Okay, this is what we gonna do. So he gets to this, they go eat breakfast. So that's the first, we ain't got to the BQ yet. Olivia, what is it with the spilling of the drinks on this guy? Because that happens again. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So the same guy, the paparazzi guy, without telling too much, I'm sorry, it's gonna be some spoilers, but the same paparazzi guy that gets in Marion's face the day before turns out to be the waitress's father, who the restaurant they go to the day after. And so she's pretty much like defending her father. Like, how could you do that to my dad? Humiliate him. Right. She pours a drink on him. Marion's humiliated, but it just goes back to, you have to think before you act.
Right.
And so Sophia's there to remind him, like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Your behavior, you got to make better choices.
Yes. So guys, so that sums it up. So this is his morning. Okay. So then he goes to the children's hospital. And remember, we told you that Kenya has a terminally ill daughter, Kaylee, who's at this hospital. We also painted the picture for her that, she's usually on Fridays. She goes to the hospital. She spends the whole weekend with her daughter or what have you. So it is Monday morning. Okay. And we already told you she got to go home, change clothes, all this stuff, go to work, put her other game face on. So, of course, and then just the fact of having to leave her daughter, at the hospital, all that stuff. So she's dealing with all of that going on in her mind. And y'all already know. So when you got 11 things going on in your mind and you're trying to be on time or whatever. So she gets in the elevator and somebody sticks their foot in the elevator.
Yeah.
With a colorful shoe. I'll say that, with a colorful shoe. Y'all hold on to the colorful shoe. And this joker have a nerve to say, he was like, are you crazy? Do you know who I am? And she almost like, first of all, I'm gonna need you to pay attention where you're going. Because they kind of like bump into each other, whatever.
Exactly.
So for me, that was like meet cute, like number one. Okay. So then sometime, later or what have you guys, Keely is in the elevator again. A separate incident, guys. She's in the elevator. She got some fajitas that smell so good, but she's going to see her daughter. And Marion, he's at the hospital because remember I said that they got to change his image. I mean, they got to get him out of this bad boy image because, like I said, he's very talented. His music is good, but they're like, look, we got to fix this image of yours. So you're, for a few months, you're going to be at this children's hospital. You're going to read to the children. You're going to do all this stuff. We're going to have cameras because we got to change your image. So guys, he's in the meeting and he has to like step out. It's because once you get to know Marion, you're like, okay, he just need a moment. So Marion is doing what Marion does. He's really trying to leave the hospital, but he's really trying to get away from Sophia and Maddox, okay, and the people at the hospital. So he gets in the elevator, guys, and lo and behold, the elevator stops working. They stuck in the elevator together, these two, okay. So Kenya is hungry because, of course, she just fixed this food so she can hurry up and get to the hospital. And then out of all his day, he kind of hungry as well. And they begin to talk. But even when they begin to talk, it was kind of like you know how like sometimes like you just you like, oh, this person. Okay,
Yeah.
first of all, yeah, we already told you he fine, so she kind of noticed. You know, I mean, we
Yeah.
being real, you know, and it
Mhm.
wasn't like she was trying to, you know, she was just appreciating a fine specimen of a man. Let's just say that.
Exactly. There you
And
go.
then he was doing the same thing. He was
Mhm.
appreciating a fine specimen of a woman. Okay.
Yeah.
So then they just started talking. And then he can also see that she was almost starting to panic. Okay, we're stuck
Mhm.
in this elevator, what have you. So he kind of like takes control of the situation, kind
Yep.
of relax a little bit. They kind of have like a communication or whatever. And
Mhm.
then it breaks the ice about this food, okay? Because these fajitas is smelling so good. And he tastes them. And let me just tell you, you know, I mean, Kenya can cook. I mean, these fajitas are like they the
Mhm.
way that you wrote it, I can almost like taste these fajitas. So, do you mean fajitas?
Those are some that's my favorite one of my favorite meals. Yes. So I just
Okay.
wrote
Okay. So then, guys, he's enjoying the fajitas. She just
Mhm.
so happened to look down, and what does she see?
She sees that
Yeah,
colorful shoe
she
and
sees
she
that
realized
colorful
that
shoe,
yes,
and she
it's a
was
very
like, and
colorful
she like
shoe.
you, like really, like you. This
Yeah.
is you. Like this cannot be the same look idiot as she.
Right.
This
Mhm.
can't be the same
Exactly.
idiot that I met like the other day. Like no way.
Right.
So yeah,
Mhm.
so that's why I call it like a meet cute 2.0. What's your
Yeah.
thoughts of that?
Yes, so I wanted the elevator to be that focal point, like, "Hey, wait a
Mhm.
minute," like you said, they're meeting again. Okay, now we're learning more about each other, but hey, I actually like this person. But hold up, I see that colorful shoe, and you're the same rude guy I encountered before. So I thought it would be a great, a cute little like reminder for readers, like, hey, we back in the elevator again. But this time he's not a rude, guy bumping into her. She's not a distracted mother. Now we're just two people. We're stuck in the elevator. We're gonna get to know each other. So
Mhm. And I like the fact that even with that,
mm-hmm.
the walls were kind of like a little bit, they kind of pulled down both of their walls when they
Yes.
kind of like told about what they do and
Mm-hmm.
things that they like that they want to see and all that good stuff. And she was like, oh, he's kind of, this ain't the same
Right.
guy that was in the elevator. Like, wow, these are some things that he wants to do. And,
Right.
he shared that he was a gospel soul singer, all of
Mm-hmm.
that good stuff. As well, and
Right.
why he was going to be in the hospital, or
Mm-hmm.
what have you, about reading to the
Mm-hmm.
kids and stuff like that. So she saw like another side of him, and
Right.
even for us as the
Mhm.
reader, that was a turning point where it was like, oh, there is a different side of him, like he's just not this like jerk. Because
Absolutely.
because at the beginning it's just like, oh my goodness, like really, this guy is
Right.
okay. He a
Right.
jerk, he just do it, or whatever. But for us, for as a reader, so was that intentional to be like a pivotal moment and say, okay, let me show you a different side of Marion or what have you?
Absolutely. And it is very hard for me, I'll say, just because of kind of the person I am, it's hard for me to write a character where people just hate them constantly. And so
Uh-huh.
I said this will be a good time, like you said, to kind of soften his character. And we're just introduced to this softer side, this warmer side. So that was definitely intentional. And it was one of my favorite scenes to write.
Oh, I love
Mhm.
that. I
Yeah.
I enjoy that. Was one of my favorite scenes in the book as well. And
Mhm.
I am, let's see, I'm trying to find it. I wanted to
Okay.
read a little bit, and then I'll let you. We'll talk about some other stuff, and I'll let you find what you want to read too, and I'll let you read that a little later.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Trying to see if I can find it real quick, guys, because that scene was just like the best.
So I actually had, I think are you on your Kindle, your electronic
Uh-huh.
device? Page 50.
Okay, let's see. Page. Will it do pages on my Kindle? Hold on.
Or actually, I'm on my phone on the app. So
Okay.
it may be different, but
Okay. Oh, I'm on the other end. So I'll try to find it and I'll keep on talking.
okay.
So let's talk a little bit about Kaylee's
Mhm.
character. Can you
Mhm.
describe her for us? Because like I said, she is like the cutest or
Mhm.
what have you. What can you tell us about Kaylee's character?
Yes. So she is 4 years old, just full of life. She's one of those children who she has a lot going on, but she doesn't show it. She absolutely loves everybody around her, and it's just one of those situations where even for Marion, this hard individual, this guy with so many walls up, like he has no choice but to fall in love with her. And like we said, she has a brain tumor, and it's a she's also battling a form of children's cancer, rare cancer.
Yeah.
So, but you wouldn't notice it at all. She's just full of life, and she's just her mother's biggest fan.
Yeah, she definitely
Mhm,
is. I would definitely say that. I would
mhm,
definitely say that as well. And even with the doctors and the nurses at the hospital,
mhm.
when Marion is introduced to her, like you just said, yes,
Yes.
again, one of those characters just like pull at your heartstrings,
Mhm,
as well for her. And so let's talk a little bit about she goes home, guys, and you
mhm.
get to meet Nehemiah for the first
Yes.
time. And if you haven't read the book, guys, Nehemiah is her husband. Okay, he her husband. I'm just gonna say that. Okay, I'm just
Mhm,
gonna say Nehemiah is her husband. Okay, and so she's already like, I mean, guys, she's been in the hospital like all weekend. Let me just okay,
mhm,
and not to be bashing him. Let me just paint the picture for you, okay,
mhm.
and then you'll know why I'm saying like Nehemiah. Okay. So she's been at the hospital like all weekend. I mean, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna call him a joker, Olivia. I'm sorry. Did he even call or text once? Or I don't remember
He
him
doesn't
calling.
call, he doesn't text, he doesn't visit. Mm-mm.
Right. Okay. And this is his baby, guys. This is
Yep.
his baby too. Okay. So she
Mhm.
gets home and, she's like, I thought you was going to come by the hospital, or you could have came by the hospital. You could have called, she's
Yep.
your daughter too. I'm on my way to work, all this good stuff. And just his whole demeanor, I was just
Mhm.
like, really, dude?
Yep.
Really?
He's very
Okay.
defensive, yes. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. As well. And so y'all just keep that right there, okay, about Nehemiah and his behaviors,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. And I think even for her, she was trying to hold on, like for dear
Mhm.
like this is really like not good right now, but this is
Right.
my husband. I love him. We're gonna try to make this work.
Right.
And for me, it was almost like he was just adding a whole nother level of stress to her,
Mhm.
for her, if that
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about what was going through your mind when you was creating Nehemiah's character, which is totally different from Marion's characters, guys, by
Yes.
the way.
Totally. Like you said, he has a heart. Marion has a heart of gold, whereas Nehemiah is just kind of a selfish, very he's living like he's a bachelor instead of having a wife and a sickly child. And so
Yeah.
I wanted people again to kind of hate him on sight. And I wanted to add, like you said, another level of or another layer of I don't want to say add stress on her, but we saw it in the book. And he just kind of provided that the setbacks that I was going for before we were introduced to the softer side of Mary. And so we see that she has these guy problems, so to speak. So
Gotcha. Okay. And look,
mm,
I found it. I found the part, guys. So I'm gonna read you guys a little snippet, okay, as well. Okay. Get off your phone and watch where you're going, she heard. It was an upset male and someone who needed to drink some coffee or take a chill pill because there was obvious irritation in his tone. Don't walk in a group through a narrow space and maybe you wouldn't bump into people. She called back to the nameless person, not seeing anyone in the six-person group. If she had to guess, it looked like Secret Service, but there was no way anyone of such importance would have walked the halls of Children's Hospital of Fallon Heights. She tucked her phone in her purse and boarded the empty elevator. But as she turned, she saw someone stick their foot in at the last minute to hold the doors open. It was a colorful sneaker created by some basketball player that probably cost more than her entire outfit, purse, and accessories combined. Her perusal left the shoe, traveled up a long leg, a well sculpted torso and chest, and then a neck bursting with veins. Then the face of the individual came into view. If she had to guess, the man was her age, but she noted how his forehead looked just as strained in anger as his neck, and it aged him. What did you say to me? Kenya was taken aback, eyeing the man wearing dark sunglasses, a black hat that sat low on his head, and dark clothing despite the gaudy shoes. He smelled amazing, but his attitude was as ugly as the thin shirt he wore with rips and holes in it. She could only assume that it was something people thought was stylish, or else he could not be wearing it. Times has certainly changed in the fashion world. Excuse me, you bumped into me and have the nerve to get an attitude, he asked incredulously. Are you crazy? So guys, that was what I said was like their meet cute like
Yep.
one. And remember, I told you to think about those shoes as well. So that like started it. So when I like read that, I was like, oh
Mhm.
shoot. But for some reason, Olivia, when they got stuck in the elevator, I was like,
Mhm.
okay. Because the first time I thought she was going to remember him like first arm. I was like, she
Mhm.
don't remember who that was. But when she
Right.
saw them shoes, she was like, you. Like, really, this is you, yeah.
Right.
So I just wanted to share that. That was one of my favorite scenes, like the Meet Cute
Mhm.
Part One, of course, added to Meet Cute Part Two,
Mhm.
which Olivia said was one of her favorite scenes as well. But I want to talk a little bit about we got this fabulous little girl who's going through this. We got her mom who's
Mhm.
a single mom. We just told you guys about Marion who has something else that's like going on as well. But Marion, after this scene in the elevator, guys, he is totally smitten by
Mhm.
her. He knows that she's married, so he was like, you know what, I can't be really thinking about this
Yeah.
lady like this. She married, she married. But then he was, he did invite her to come and to read to Kaylee, all of that good stuff as well. So the story kind of like goes on, and he just cannot stop thinking about her. And there is this other character, guys, by the name of Sydney. And so
Yeah.
y'all know that like some like now Sydney is she's like is an actress if I'm not mistaken. I know she's like
Yep.
famous or
Model
something. Yeah,
slash
she's an
actress. Yep.
actress. So
Mhm.
y'all know how like the media and the paparazzi, all that good stuff is. They have like their it couple, or they be trying to make people be together when really on the reality behind the scene, it ain't even what they make appear. And so that was kind of what was going on between Sydney and Marion. In
Mhm.
addition to that, it was like Sydney was a nice girl, but it was just like he was just like she ain't the one for me, like
Yep.
not really. So he was trying to find a way. Okay, like how can I like break this off easily? Because right now I'm not having the best of luck with like these women, and I'm trying to do right all this good
Mhm.
stuff. So he's trying to find a way, guys, to like break it off with her without like
Mhm.
it causing a scene, or because remember, the media, the paparazzi, they're just keep putting him in, and he was like, I don't need anything else for my publicist Sophia to clean up. So Sydney is like calling this dude and calling him and calling, and he's really trying to like ignore her. He's trying like not to meet her. She's like, yeah, fly me out. Well, she was like, pay for my hotel room or whatever. So finally they get to meet, guys. They get to meet. And he breaks it to her. Okay. He really do. I felt
Mhm.
for a brother because he was really trying to
Yeah.
do it professionally,
Right.
nicely. And here we go again, guys. Remember I told you about these spilled drinks, okay? Spilled drink number two. So he like, man. But in addition to that, guys, he sees this dude in this restaurant, okay?
Mhm.
Nehemiah, by the way, he
Yes.
sees this dude, but the girl that he sees, it looks like Kenya.
Kenya.
But remember, y'all,
Mhm.
where Kenya be? Y'all, we already told y'all where Kenya be. Kenya at the hospital with who? With Kaylee. So he
Right.
like, oh my goodness, I see this girl. She looked like Kenya. He was like, I gotta get a picture. I got
Mhm.
to take a picture because I gotta show Kenya that
Yeah.
this girl, I saw this girl that looks just like her. Olivia. I was
Yeah.
like, oh snap. I was like, oh snap. First
Yeah.
of all, I was like, the nerve of Nehemiah.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
then I was just like, ooh, the plot
Yeah.
thickens. Can you tell us about that a little bit? And guys, we spilling a little bit of tea. We ain't gonna spill all the tea, okay? We're gonna
Yes.
spill a little bit of tea. But can you tell us about that as well? Like
Yes.
that was
Like
for
you
me, that was like
said.
sit on the edge of my seat, like, okay, this joker Nehemiah.
Right. So yep. So after Marion takes the picture, he's still on a hunt to find Kenya. So he goes to the children's hospital, where he meets up with her to have lunch. And he was like, oh, by the way, I was at a restaurant and I saw this lady. She looks just like you. He was like, I gotta show you the picture. He shows the picture, and Kenya's all giggles, but then she's like, wait a minute, that's my cousin.
And
And
now
the
Olivia,
guy he's with
now
is
I'm about to be petty, Olivia.
uh-huh.
Her first cousin.
First cousin, right? First cousin. It ain't the sixth cousin who don't matter.
Yeah. And y'all know, like, first cousin, that means that's like, that's like sibling children.
Yes,
That's like close cousin. That
right,
ain't like second, third removed. That's like
right,
first cousin family, for real cousins,
right.
okay?
Right, which made it so much worse. And
Yeah.
so she just goes into this thing like, okay, now I know why Nehemiah acting so funny. He doesn't visit the hospital. He's with my cousin.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's
So,
juicy.
guys,
Mhm.
we just gave you a little bit of tea. Okay, so now you know why I be saying like, Nehemiah. Okay, now y'all see why I don't have no love for Nehemiah, because he got my girl,
Mhm.
that she is at the hospital with this baby,
Yes.
and we out with her first cousin. Okay,
Mhm.
okay, and we ain't look, and it's a whole lot more to
Yes.
that as well. All I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna leave it alone. This joker got a whole nother life with her
Yes.
first cousin.
Mhm.
Okay.
He
That's what we're
does.
gonna say. We're gonna leave it as that. We're gonna leave that as a cliffhanger so you can go read the book and find out about his whole other life
Mhm.
with her first cousin. Okay.
Right.
Yes, you will. But oh my goodness, when and Marion felt, because he had the realization, like, oh my goodness, what have I
Mhm.
done? Like,
Right.
I was so excited to show her that I saw this person who looked so much like her,
Yeah.
and I done spilled the beans. Like, I done like,
Right.
yeah, like I don't open up a can of worms. Like, yeah. And for you to kind of show like his emotion, because he really did feel bad, like,
Mhm.
wow, like, oh my
Yep.
goodness, what have I just done?
Exactly. Because he's
And
getting
that
to
was at the
know her.
hospital.
Right, exactly. So he's trying to get to know her and he's thinking he's doing the right thing or just being funny, but it's like now it done stirred the pot. And so she's kind of looking towards him, kind of like thrown off. Like, I don't even want to, don't talk to me right now. I need a moment.
Right. Now, Olivia, this is
Mhm.
when this is another segment where the walls start to like come down, like
Mhm.
after this pivotal scene. Because
Mhm.
guys, we've already told you that Kenya, she has a lot on her plate. Okay.
Yeah.
So add
Mhm.
all of that on her plate, and then you just find out that your husband is cheating on you with your first cousin. Okay.
Yep.
So she's like, how can I handle all of this? And I still got to take care of my daughter, and I still got
Right.
to go to work, and all this stuff. And she gets home, and there's a scene in there where you got to read the book, you know what it's talking about. But there is this
Mhm.
pink envelope, okay,
Yep.
that when she first received it, and the person who gave it to her was just telling her, hey, I'm gonna need you to keep your eyes open,
Right.
and she like, what? Like what? Okay,
Mhm.
whatever. So her mind, y'all know that woman's intuition, okay?
Yep.
Something was like, I'm gonna need you to open that pink envelope. So
Yes.
she opened this pink envelope, and let me just tell y'all guys that Nehemiah is like exposed. It's
Yep.
like it ain't no hiding it. It's like this joker is exposed, like your whole other life is exposed.
Yep.
And so I love the way she found out what she needed to find out. Let me just tell
Mhm.
you, sister girl made a phone call, and she just kind of, she the way she did it in the roundabout way, she knew everything she needed to know, and it was
Yep.
like, wow.
Yep.
And for me, it was like everything she was going on with. I mean, she could have called her mom, but guess who she called? She called Marion,
Yes, her hero. Yep.
her hero. Oh my goodness. You talk
Mhm.
about, okay, Olivia. See, girl. I was like, oh my goodness. But it's not even the fact that she called Marion. But let me
Mhm.
just tell y'all guys, y'all remember when I told y'all that, like, Marion, oh my goodness. He was like, what you need? Do you
Yep.
need me to come get you? She was like, no, I can make it. But when you get when the part that, like, when I was so like Team Marion, when
Mhm.
Sister Girl like explode, because guys, remember she got a lot on her, and when she got to Marion, Sister Girl just like exploded. When I say
Mhm.
there was like the tears, I mean, and when I say I mean like ugly cry, like snot,
Mhm.
like I
Right.
mean like ugly cry, and this brother gonna sit on the floor
Yep.
with a sister, and he just held her and let her get it all out.
Yeah.
She broke an expensive vase, by the way, but but he, but he just like let her get it
Mhm.
all out. Like, you
Yeah.
know what? Just have your moment. Oh,
Mhm.
Olivia. Man,
Yes.
much respect for him. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so this is another moment where she can finally be vulnerable, and it's with Marion, who has this hard exterior, but we again just see this warm side come out. He wants her, like you said, to just get it all out. Cry if you need to. You can wet my shirt up. You can break this expensive vase. I don't mind. Just just do what you got to do. And then it's to the point where there's nothing sexual about it. It's just a sweet embrace all night. He holds her until they
And
wake up.
guys, it's literally
Right.
all night.
All
Like
night.
literally
He got a cramp in his neck
all
just for
night.
this one.
Yeah. And I mean, she had
Mhm.
cried so much to that
Yep.
whole all cried out.
Yes.
And it was just like he didn't even want to disturb her. He was like, you know what? And even y'all can imagine, like if you sitting in an uncomfortable position
Right.
where your back
Uh-huh.
gonna be aching, your legs gonna be aching.
Exactly.
He was
Right.
like, you know what? I shall not disturb her because the
Mhm.
information she just found out. I just want to make
Right.
sure she's safe. I just want to make sure that I'm there for her. And at this time, guys, they hadn't known each other like that long, but
Right.
he was just like, you know what, I'm gonna be there for
Yep.
her in this very like vulnerable moment. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And it's a way that we see, because earlier in the book he says to trust her. And we kind of see that come full circle. She's trusting him, like, you all I got at this point. So
Yeah.
I trust
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I love that. But I don't
Mhm.
know, are you ready to read your snippet, or we can talk about it a little more, or
We could talk about, yeah, we can talk about the book a little more.
okay.
Because
And so
I was gonna read the other scene with the elevator if you want me to.
yeah, you can read that too. That's
The
fine.
heaters.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. As Marion neared the elevators, he caught a whiff of something utterly delightful. He couldn't quite put his finger on the food choice, but knew it was hearty, well seasoned, and made with love. His stomach growled lowly, and he rounded the corner, finally locking eyes with the person responsible for the delicious aroma. There was a woman holding a medium sized container of some kind of homemade dish. She held it in one hand and the straps of her bag with the other. She looked down, dreamily smoothing the tip of her ballet like slipper across the floor, and thought. As the elevator dinged with its arrival, she looked over, startled, and finally noticed Marion. Oh my goodness, you scared me. He offered a half smile. I've been making people jump all day. It's a bad habit. Sorry. She obviously didn't understand the joke and only gave a half smile to match his lazy one. They entered the elevator at the same time and discovered it was empty. This allowed them to comfortably settle on opposite sides. The woman continued to look down in thought, not pushing a number or even making a move to select her desired floor, while Marion pressed the lower level option. What floor were you heading to? He finally questioned. For a second time, she jumped in surprise, as if she had forgotten he was across from her. He took in the business casual clothes, worried expression, oversized bag, and name tag. She must have been a visiting relative to one of the sick children. He doubted she was a worker there. She didn't seem to be that type. Though motherly, she just didn't look like she would work in the healthcare field. I'm so sorry. I need to get myself together. I'm fine. Marion cocked his head to the side and chuckled gently. A glimmer of playfulness entered his eyes. No, I didn't ask how you were doing or how you looked. I asked what floor were you heading to. Oh, she blushed a deep shade of pink. Her cheekbones lifted in a genuine yet embarrassed smile. 3, please, if it's not too late. I think you'll have to go down first and then back up. I pressed mine already, but I'll select it. His voice trailed off as the elevator jolted and the lights flickered. Oh boy. What was that? I think the storm has something to do with it. He pressed a few buttons, but none of them lit up or made the electrical box move again. It appeared that the elevator had gotten stuck between floors. He looked at the frozen red numbers above their head. Either that or I pressed the wrong button. You've got to be kidding me. We're stuck? There was panic in her voice as she squatted down and put her container and bag on the floor. She joined his side, leaning to press buttons and hit the emergency call button. Oh God, of all days to get stuck in the elevator, please God, don't let them start without me. He was confused. What's wrong? You work here? No. She grabbed the side of her head in anxiousness. My daughter had an emergency procedure. As I was arriving, they called to tell me that it would be starting within the hour. I stopped to warm my food up to give them time to get her ready, but I wanted to at least see her off. She's never gone to surgery or a procedure without me. She's going to be so worried. Oh my goodness. Calm down, Marion whispered. He reached out and squeezed her shoulder a few times in comfort. He wasn't the best at providing empathy or encouraging words, but he knew how to touch a woman, as badly as that sounded.
Guys, so we just gave you, I read a little snippet of their first meet cute. Olivia Sharpville read a little bit of Meet Cute 2.0. We have spilled a little bit of tea because we told you
Mhm.
about her husband, her trifling husband,
Trifling.
Nehemiah, and her cousin as well. But Olivia, in addition
Mhm.
to, and that was one of the things that I enjoyed about this story too, is the
Mhm.
complexity of the characters of both Marion
Mhm.
and Kenya as well.
Mhm.
And so, guys, remember we were telling you that we won't tell you what his secret is because I'm gonna need y'all to go read the book
Yeah.
or what have you. But Marion has a secret, and there is a moment where at this time, him and Kenya, they, because remember, guys, I just told you that he was there for a sister. Okay. So
Mhm.
they have a moment where they're just kind of like out and they're starting to kind of feel at a level where they share stuff, if that makes sense. Like they
Mhm.
share like kind of like what they're going through or what have you. And so Kenya begins to tell him, she felt comfortable enough to tell him what happened to Kaylee, like why,
Mhm.
she's in the hospital, how this cancer came to be, all of this stuff. And it's about this one night. And she tells him,
Mhm.
and they're having this conversation, and it's a pivotal moment, the conversation that they are having, or
Mhm.
what have you. And it's even some realizations and all of this good stuff as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that and how was that to write that scene? Because if you read the book, you kind of know, you kind of
Right.
know that this is like things are like ooh, like
Yeah.
okay, he has something. His secret has something to do. Okay, how are they connected? What is going on? How was it for you to write that scene and to heighten our interest? Because
Mhm.
again, that was another moment where it was like edge of my seat, like ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, so there are certain, I'm sure there were many readers who already kind of put the puzzle pieces together by that point. But for
Uh-huh.
those who still were kind of piecing it together, I wanted to make it still like really like vague. But we're also
Mm.
seeing him, okay, now he's getting uncomfortable with this information she's sharing. And she's comfortable with sharing this information and trusting him. So it's like, what's going to happen next, you know? And so it was very sense heightening when I was writing it. That was one of my favorite scenes as well to write. And I just wanted to sort of just like tread along, you know. Like I said, for those who already knew what was going to happen or what would happen at the end, I still wanted to make it suspenseful.
Uh-huh.
And so I enjoyed that piece as well.
Yes, I
Mhm.
love that. I love that. And I want to talk a little bit about his manager Maddox, and
Mhm.
we have to talk about like his security guard like
Mhm.
TW,
Yeah.
because it's like TW was, in addition to being his security guard,
Mhm.
he was also like his protector of
Yeah.
his secret, his like protector of just from the media, his like
Yeah.
his protect, like his boy, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
And there were even moments where he saw the closeness
Right.
of Kaylee, I'm sorry, not Kaylee, Kaylee was
Yeah.
getting close to
Yep.
him too,
Mhm.
of Kenya and Marion,
Yeah.
and it was almost like he felt like that protective side, like step in
Mhm.
and because now I like Kenya because Kenya will put
Mhm.
you in your place in a nice way. She'll like slice you and
Yeah.
do it like so like
Right.
she'll do it with so much class.
Right.
Guys, let me
Yeah.
just say she got away with words, okay? So
Exactly.
she
Yeah.
kind of had to nicely put TW in his place to let him know that they were both adults and all this good stuff.
Mhm.
But tell us a little bit about. But there is, we'll talk about it too. There were scenes where he even grew like Kenya grew on him too. Where
Mhm.
in addition to being a protector of Marion, he was like a
Right.
protector of Kayla and her daughter as well. I'm not Kayla, I keep saying Kayla, Kenya and her daughter as well. But tell
Mhm.
us about TW's character.
Yeah, so TW, I wanted a funny person who can complement Marion's hard exterior. We kind of look at him as Oh, well, thank you, Tony. We're looking at Marion as like this lonesome kind of character, but actually, he has people that really love him, and that's in his corner. And so, TW
Yes,
is his best friend without us even saying it. And like you said, he has his best interests at heart. And then as he begins to fall in love with Kenya and Kaylee, and everybody kind of sees this relationship, they see that Marion is changing for the better. Now they want to protect Kenya and Kaylee. They want these
yes.
people in each other's lives. So, mhm.
Yes, I love that. And Mama Tony, you gotta let me know when you read. Well, first you're gonna probably text me, Mama Tony, because I know you're gonna have a book hangover. Like I said, we didn't spill all the tea, okay? Because there's still some scenes in there where
Mhm.
Mama Tony, you're gonna be like, what? Did this
Yes,
just happen? Oh my
yes.
goodness, as well. So yes, this is definitely one, guys. If it is on your TBR list, let me
Mhm.
just tell you, move it up. It is a quick read. The pacing
Mhm.
is like amazing, but
Mhm.
you will be missing the characters when you finish. If you guys are just joining us, we are hanging out with Olivia Shaw Real, guys. She's spilling a little bit of tea about her latest release, Hero for Sale, and even going with like the title of this book. Once you read it, you'll definitely understand the title
Mhm.
a little more as well. And I love worship music. I
Mhm.
love the creative side of it, Olivia.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Because I love good music, and even
Yes.
like the creative side of him. And right in the song, after some stuff happened, it's a romance, guy. So y'all already know they
Right.
gotta be, they gotta break up and come back, all that good
Mhm.
stuff. But his creative side, oh my goodness. And when you was describing like the video, and
Uh-huh.
there were moments where I was like, ooh, like the creative side of me with the creative side just got like super excited. As you can
Yes.
see, I just kind of started like just thinking about it. But the song that he came up with, and the moments where, because they both had to kind of, when stuff hit the fan, it was
Mhm.
like they both had like that, just okay,
Right.
can things get any worse? Like
Right.
really, can things get any worse for both of them?
Mhm.
But that redemptive side, and how he used his music to
Mhm.
be able to bring that out, and just it was just like amazing. And even the people that he had in his corner that was
Mhm.
so team, that so was like rooting for both of them, and the way that they kind of
Yes.
orchestrated some stuff for them to meet up.
Mhm.
I guess that could be, they're meeting three times three.
Right.
But share a little bit about that too, of how you tapped into that creative side.
Yes. So as a singer, naturally, you want your character to be, his life to just revolve around all things music. So I said it would be really fun to write a video scene. It would be really fun to write original lyrics, which is what I did. So that was really fun. And the Holy Spirit really guided me with that, as far as just the words and what would a worship piece sound like coming from Marion Turner. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
really fun. And then even just, with the use of his guitar, we see it on the book cover. Now we're seeing it in the scenes. I just wanted a full circle moment for readers. And I feel like, look, I have so many favorite scenes, but the video scene and then his performance scene was my favorite as well. And I just wanted the audience, or the readers, I should say, to really feel like they were watching it on TV. So,
yes, yes.
mhm.
And let me just tell you, you nailed it, my friend.
Thank
Yes, that whole video scene was just, man,
you.
like if that was on the big screen, if that was
Mhm.
like a movie, oh my
Mhm.
goodness, I could see it playing
Oh,
out. And the
thank you.
same thing, like his performance scene,
Mhm.
that was just like amazing, as well. And just
Mhm.
even when things begin to kind of like fall apart for both of them, I
Mhm.
love the fact of when like the people that really mattered in their
Mhm.
lives like showed up for the both of them, because you can probably imagine like the people that was in his camp, they
Mhm.
fell in love with Kenya and Kaylee. So
Right.
for them, it almost kind of put them,
Yep,
in a
in the
rock,
middle.
in a rock and a
Yep.
hard place, because they fell in
Mhm.
love with. It was like, okay, we love Marion, Oh my
Right.
goodness, we love Kenya and this sweet little girl
Right.
as well. And they could see that these two guys, and so you'll know, so
Hmm.
nobody won't think we have like a cheat or anything.
Right.
Her and her
Hmm.
husband, she is divorced from her. Okay, so y'all know that. Yeah, so she didn't write any cheating scenes. Well, outside of him doing what he did. Lachelle said, as a writer myself, I always like to know another writer's process. Are you a plotter or a pantser? And this has intrigued me. I'm heading to Amazon after this.
Oh,
Lachelle, let me just tell you, my friend, this book is totally book hangover worthy. Go ahead and set like maybe 2 hours aside, because I promise you, once you start,
yeah.
you are not going to want to put it down as well. I mean, Olivia she did an amazing job. But
Oh,
to answer her
thank you.
question, Olivia, she's asking, are you a plotter or a
Mhm.
pantser in your writing style?
So typically, believe or thank you, Michelle, Lachelle as well. Typically, I don't do any kind of outlining, any of that. I'll literally just get my laptop when I'm in the mood and then just kind of write and flow. And so I tend to write backwards. Like I'll know exactly what's going to happen in the book, but I don't have characters. I don't have a title. I don't have any of that. Or it'll be the opposite. I'll have a cover design in mind, and then I have to work on the plot and storyline. So it's a really weird process. But for Hero, I will say though, for Hero for Sale, it took me about 2 years because I just didn't know which direction to go. And so I would say I did use an outline for this one. And then towards the end, it just kind of was a free flow. So yeah, I have a very weird
Oh,
process.
well, thank you for sharing that with us. Oh my
Hmm.
goodness, thank you for sharing that with us. And guys,
Hmm.
if you are just joining us, I promise you, we didn't spill all the tea. There is some other scenes that I know that you guys will fall in love with. If it's like I said, if it's on your TBR list, go ahead and move it up. This book is
Yeah.
amazing, and you will definitely understand why I have a book a hangover as well about the story. But I wanted to share something with you. This is one of her readers, and
Hmm.
she read the book, and this is what she messaged to me. And I told her that I would definitely make sure that I included this in our conversation um, as well. She says, and I'll tell you who it is in just a minute.
Hmm.
She says, I'm just about finished, but and she will give you a good review. She said, I'm loving it. I was amazed by her husband going with her first cousin. I was hollering. My grandson thought something was wrong with me in here talking to myself. And guys, when you read it, I told y'all you will be talking to the
Yeah.
characters. So when she said that, I totally understood. When she said that she was hollering, I totally understood, because
Uh-huh.
there was moments where, and I know for me it was like the holler, like I laughed out loud holler
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
some of the scenes. Because let me tell y'all, Kenya is a hoot, okay, but both of them they got like when their little banter, okay, is like
Yeah.
hilarious as well. But I totally got it when she was saying she was talking to herself or talking to the characters
Hmm.
as well. And that was Myra Cook. She's reading the book or what have you,
Hmm.
and she is totally enjoying it. So I wanted to share that so you can see the reactions. So Olivia, you wouldn't think it's just me, okay?
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Myra. I appreciate that.
I love that. I love that. Well, guys, our time is almost up. And of course, we'll be sharing with you of how you can get your hands on this amazing story, Hero for Sale. But before we end, I want you to share with us, Olivia, what did you enjoy about bringing this amazing story to life for us, Hero for Sale?
Yes, I enjoyed the writing process totally. It really stretched me as a writer. I'm so proud of this body of work. And there will also be like 4 more books from it. So it'll be a complete series, a Fahrenheit series. But
Okay.
I enjoyed the heartwarming characters. I enjoyed the characters that got on my own nerves, but also the warm part of it. So now I can bring in my inspirational romance. I can bring in the redemption piece. I can bring in the message of hope. So I enjoy every bit of it, and I'm so humbled and so grateful that everybody's receiving it as I prayed that they would. So
I love that. I love that. And I'm glad that you said that because, as I said a little bit earlier, you
Mhm,
did that, my friend. Yes, there,
mhm,
like you said, you have the inspirational piece in there.
mhm.
You have the redemptive piece in there. It has a little bit of drama,
Yes,
or what
yes.
have you in there. But it
Mhm,
was, and even though there was some heaviness to it
mhm.
about dealing with a child that was, that had her cancer,
Right.
all of that good stuff. But to bring it all, all full
Mhm.
circle, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. And to see the journey of the
Yeah.
characters. And these
Mhm,
characters, guys, they are rich, complex
mhm.
characters with depth. Okay. Like
Yeah.
each one of them. And I like the way that you carved that out. And I
Mhm,
love the way that, again, you made them real and
mhm.
relatable, because there are people that are out there that are dealing with these things.
Yes.
But even though there were heavy situations and stuff like that, I loved
Mhm,
how you kind of like you tied it all in. So as we
mhm.
said, there will be moments where you will be laughing. There are moments where
Yeah.
you may shed a few tears. There are
Mhm.
moments where you want to, you want to wring somebody's neck. Like, did they just do that? Did they just say
Right,
that?
right.
Or what have you? But that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about it,
Mhm,
was the realness of the characters, the richness of the characters, the
mhm.
depth, the depth that these characters went to,
Yeah.
and to even see them like at their vulnerable states, to
Right.
see them at their lows, to see them come to their
Mhm.
highs.
Yes.
All of that good stuff is just,
Mhm.
as you can see, guys, this is just an overall good
Yeah.
story. For me, Olivia, it is 5 stars, my friend,
Thank you.
as well. So thank you for
Mhm.
hanging out with us here at the cafe.
Yes.
And doing Angel's Literary Tea, because
Mhm.
we do spill a little bit of tea. So
Yes.
guys, put it in the comment section. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves as well. We will be sharing with you. I'm going to let Olivia share with you now of how you can get your hands
Mhm.
on a copy of Hero for Sale.
Yeah. So once again, thank you so much, Angela. For readers out there, if you're a paper book person, they're available on Amazon. If you're an ebook person, they're available on Amazon as well. And then I just invite you to also connect with me on Instagram and Facebook at Olivia Shaw Reel.
I love that. I love that. Well, guys, I'm, of course, Angela Anderson. You can stay connected with me. You can follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel,
Mhm.
Angela Anderson's YouTube. You can. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok as
Mhm.
well. Angela Anderson presents. Or what have you? Feel free to follow me there. You can go to my website, www.angelaandersonpresents.org as well. And guys, that's our tea time for today. I hope that each one of you had an amazing, amazing tea time. And before we end, I want Olivia Shaw Real to share with us what she has going on next and how you can stay connected with her.
Yes. So, like I said, it's about 4 or 5 more books that has been birthed from this story. Hero for Keeps will be out July 14th. So stay tuned for that. It'll be from the perspective of Kenya. And
Oh,
yeah, so I've been keeping busy. I got like 5 more books coming, y'all. So I appreciate the support. Again, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, connect with me at Olivia Shaw Real. Also, you can visit my website, www.osrbooks.com.
I love that. And I will make sure that we put it in the comment section. You said is your website is osrbooks.com.
Yes. Yes. And thank you
Okay.
so much
And
again,
Olivia,
Angela.
is there a newsletter that they
Mhm.
can sign up for, or?
Yes, through my website, they can sign up.
I love that. So we'll put that up so you guys can see that. Yes, I love that. I love it. And oh my goodness, Olivia, Myra Cook stopped by. Myra, I shared with Olivia your words of what you enjoyed about the book, and you talking to the book and all of that good stuff as well. I did share that with her. Thank you for joining us as
Thank you,
well,
Myra.
guys. That's our show on today. Thank all of you for joining us for tea time as well. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to watch it. Also, Olivia actually did Angela's Literary Cafe, where we did a 30-minute interview talking about Hero for Sale. So if you want to watch that, feel free. It is on my YouTube channel. Feel free to watch that too. It's the Literary Cafe with Olivia Shaw Real. Or you can, of course, enjoy this Literary Cafe and tell a friend about it as well. And if you haven't yet, go get you a copy of Hero for Sale. It's available in print and it's available in ebook. And in addition to that, you still have time to get it read before book 2 in this series, which she spilled a little bit of tea. It'll be coming from Kenya's perspective.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that as well. So, guys, as we always say, have an amazing day because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Enjoy your day and read a good book and definitely go read Hero for Sale.